Welcome back. We're still at Eurosonic, fast-moving targets, speaking here, a different face, but well, the same company. We are our next-door neighbors are presenting all kinds of tech startups, tech companies who are busy in the field of music. And we thought it was a good idea to invite some of them here at our table. And next to me is, at the moment,
Niels Hoogland.
And what's the name of your company and what does it do?
It's called MyRadio, and it's a personalized radio service.
And what's your unique selling point?
That we offer radio that listens to you.
And others don't?
No, usually with radio, traditional radio, of course, the radio stations, they air their broadcasts and all you can do is listen to it, but you cannot give feedback and you don't have any control over what you get to hear. And what MyRadio does is we offer the lean-back experience of radio. So you can go to our website and pick a station, a genre that you like, or even combine stations. And then we do all the work. We make a playlist for you. It's like regular radio, and it just keeps on playing. We add new music for you. We make a selection. We're the curators. And whenever you think that we made a mistake, we're playing a song you don't like, then you can give a thumbs down, and we will remember that and factor that in when we present you with new music, or the next time you the next time you return and you start listening again, then we know this person did not like this or that artist or this or that song, and we will leave that out for you. So and also it's social as well. You can share stations, both stations and tracks, both within MyRadio and on the social networks. But the main thing is, like I said, it's radio that listens to you.
Is there a lot of competition in this field? Are there a lot of other companies doing the same?
Not exactly the same.
No.
And I think what gives us an advantage is the fact that we are really aimed at the Dutch market. I think every country has its own music culture, and you will people here in the Netherlands like different music from people in Germany or France or whatever. So our music selection is really aimed at the Dutch market, and also we add, because we're radio, we add added content in the form of news, traffic and weather info, which is in Dutch and about the Netherlands, of course. So in that way, I think we are pretty unique.
How many customers do you have, or people who use it?
We started, we came out of beta last November, and right now we have about 200,000 unique listeners a month.
And is that enough?
No, not yet. Of course not. No, we want more.
So what do you aim for?
The stars, but you know, yeah, it's very hard, especially when you're a startup, to give exact numbers. And you also know what happens if I say to you now, well, for instance, 1 million, and next year we're below or way above, then you say, hey, you didn't know what you were talking about, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So what will it cost, well, to gain a solid place in the market? And it costs not only in money, but also in time or in people?
It depends. Of course, there's all sorts of investing that you have to do. There's the technical part. You have to build it and you have to keep developing it, which we do, of course. Then you have the marketing, and then we have the music rights, of course. And all these things, are variable, of course, because you can do a lot of technical add-ons, and you can also tune it down a little. Then, as marketing goes, well, you know, you can buy all the TV time that's available, or you can go for grassroots guerrilla marketing campaigns. So there's, and as far as the music rights go, the more listeners we get, the more we have to pay, of course. But also we have more impressions to sell. So it's very hard to say. Yeah.
So, but are you a bootstrapped company, or are you? Do you have like investors and a lot of money to start with?
We are part of the TMG, the Telegraph Media Group. So in that way, we
have money.
we have a solid company behind us,
Yeah.
and that's also pretty interesting, I think, because when you look at music services, the new music services that are out there, most of them are started by tech companies who do not necessarily have a music background, and our company does, because this company also owns the Sky Radio group, and so that's the knowledge that we bring onto the table and that we put into the product. We know a little something about scheduling music, and that's the basis for this product.
Yeah. So what is the business model? Where is the money?
It's advertisement support. In that way, it's like traditional radio, in the fact that as you listen, you get audio commercials. The difference, of course, is that we also have a visual. We have like a banner that sort of drops into your screen, and that's clickable, of course, as well. So you can go to the website of the advertiser. The difference with traditional radio is that the breaks are much shorter. It's kind of the same, but it goes. It
goes beyond.
Yeah, with an add-on, with a visual add-on, and much shorter breaks.
And why not choose for letting people who use the service? Why not let them pay?
Because we're radio, and radio is free.
Okay, that's clear. So, do you make money already?
Yes, we have had a lot of advertisers so far. If you mean if we're profitable yet? No, not yet. Because we started like 2 months ago. Yeah. So no, no. I honestly believe that for a startup, well, as you know, that takes some time. So and we're going to need that because it's a new product. People have to find out exactly what it does for them. What's the use for them, and what's the added value. So that's going to take some time.
Yeah. So how long do you think? Do you expect to before you make money? Before
we become
profitable?
Yeah. Again, it's so hard to say. As I said about
you're not going to tell.
No, but I mean, like I said, when we talked about the cost, the investment, the picture I painted, like it depends on a million things, and of course, when it comes to revenue, it's kind of the same thing. It's so hard when I cannot really predict how many listeners we'll have in a year's time. Then it's impossible for me to predict the revenue.
Yeah, but there's.
But we all I mean, obviously, we do believe that it will become profitable. Otherwise, we would not have started this. So we really do believe that it will be at some point. And but it's. I cannot tell you exactly when.
And there's not a sort of time limit, because usually when there's an investor involved or someone with money, then they always, they step in for the money.
Yeah,
so.
But maybe it's in our advantage that we have a strong company behind us, and they're like a little more patient, I think, because the newspaper has been around for 120 years, so
they know
their horizon is a little longer, and I think that's a very good thing to have.
What's your biggest challenge?
I think my main challenge now is explaining to people what it does and what's the advantage.
The biggest lesson so far?
First, explain to people what the advantages of the product are before you ask them to log in, or because people are very hesitant about logging in through their social networks. They're afraid, first of all, that we're going to do all sorts of things with the data, and second of all, if they do not understand that it's in their interest, so they can so that we can serve them a better playlist the next time they return. That's something that we thought let's ask people to log in, and then we'll explain what it's good for. Well, that doesn't work. It's the other way around. So that's the biggest lesson so far. And I have noticed also that people are afraid that we will post all sorts of things on their timeline, which we don't. But I noticed that is something that people are afraid of.
Yeah. Were these things you expected before? Well, probably not, because otherwise you would have done it differently.
And when I say it to you now, it sounds so logical, but that's what happens when you're really, really very deep into a product and you're working with it night and day, then you sometimes forget to take a step back and realize what it's like for a regular person to use this. Because all the advantages are already clear to me, of course, it should be. But sometimes you forget to take that step, to take that step back and have that like neutral view at your product, and that's something. Well, it's something that's probably going to continue to happen because you cannot help it. I think it's only human, because you always have your own. Experiences as a reference, as a starting point, but it's something you must try to avoid as much as possible.
If you could change one thing to improve the outlook of your company, what would it be?
Wow, that's a hard one, because we're changing all the time. We are, for instance, we have changed the way we present the opportunity to share tracks. And it's something, it's really, when you're a startup, it's learning while you're doing.
And changing, go with the flow.
All the time, And probably there'll be new technical possibilities in half a year from now that will spark some idea with us and make us go, hey, but wait, now we need to do this the other way around. There's been, since we started building it, there has been like, honestly, maybe 25, maybe 40, maybe 50 things that we've changed already. And some have to do with just technical issues, and some have to do just by experiencing things and feedback we get from users. So we'll be changing more.
And finally, what is the most important trend concerning music and technology you notice at the moment?
I think, of course, the digitalization, but it's been going on for a while. I think going mobile, it's going to become more and more important. And a third
difficult trend for you probably, because
well,
if you have to find your money in advertising.
But we have audio advertising, and that's to our advantage. But it's a valid point that you're making, and we're there. We have iOS and Android apps, and we also have settings on our app, so we do not deplete your data plan unwillingly. So you don't get it like that nasty surprise. But I think that's going to be an important trend. And last, I think data mining is going to be really important.
So. Data mining, you mean there are a lot of data and you can analyze what...
There's like numbers crunching and because all that data is out there, but what are we going to do with it? How are we going to use it?
And who's going to do something with it?
Well, in our case, at some point we will know a lot about people's taste in music. So what we want to do with that is like a little like Amazon does with the recommendation. At some point, try to be even to adjust our playlist to your tastes before you get a chance to give a thumbs down. So we want to anticipate. And to do that, we need to crunch a lot of data, crunch a lot of numbers. But I think it's going to be like an add-on value for the product.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.